Hello, and welcome to my personal development training on mandatory reporting. So first off, I just want to do an overview of what mandatory reporting is. Mandatory reporting is a term used to describe the legislative requirements to report suspected cases of child abuse and neglect to the authorities. In Victoria, one must hold a belief on reasonable grounds that a child has suffered or is likely to suffer significant harm as a result of physical injury or sexual abuse, and the parents have not protected or they are unlikely to protect the child from harm. The Children, Youth and Families Act of 2005 lists registered teachers and school principals as mandatory reporters, and as of March 2019, all early childhood workers are now required to report. So just a few things that should be reported are stuff like physical abuse, non-accidental or unexplained injury to a child, a disclosure of sexual abuse, emotional abuse, ill treatment of a child, neglect, poor care, family violence, substance misuse, and if you believe a child has been abandoned. So what is reasonable belief? Reasonable belief is not the same as having concrete evidence. This means that a reasonable belief is formed if a person in the same position has formed the same belief on the same grounds. Examples of this include that a child has actually stated they've been abused, a child states they know someone who's been abused, someone who knows the child states they've been abused, or observations of the child behaviour or development leads to the form of a belief they have been abused, including signs. So just a quick note, if you fail to disclose, the new penalty has actually been increased to up to 3 years imprisonment. You may lose your Working with Children's check, and you can receive 10 penalty points, which can include a really hefty fine for yourself and the service. So the resource I want to discuss with you guys tonight is called the Orange Door. The Orange Door is something that I think is really handy to remember when it comes to mandatory reporting, because sometimes there is significant concern for a child, but you do not believe the child is at risk of harm. It's an access point for family services. It's for families that need assistance with care and the well-being of children. So examples of people that may need this service are families experiencing significant parenting problems that may actually affect the child's development, if they're experiencing family conflict, including a family breakdown, if they're under pressure due to a family member's physical or mental illness, substance abuse or disability or bereavement, if they're young, isolated and unsupported, or if they're experiencing social and economic disadvantage that may impact the child's care or development. So there's 5 locations of the Orange Door across Victoria, including Barwon, Bayside Peninsula, Inner Gippsland, the Mallee, northeastern Melbourne, and they've got an access website, which if you want to note it down, it's orangedoor.vic.gov.au. So when you recommend a family to use this service, they'll come up onto this website, and I just want to point out that there is actually a quick exit. A lot of people who need this sort of service are in difficult situations, and if they don't want anyone to know what they've been looking at, they can hit this button and it deletes it off their browser history, and it takes them straight out of there. No one will ever know that they were on the website in the first place. So the Orange Door aims to protect families, keeping them together while producing the best possible results for the child and their well-being. The Orange Door was set up as part of the Victorian Government's response to the Royal Commission into Family Violence. It strengthens and supports children and families. Some factors to consider when reporting someone to this service is what actually happened to cause your concern, what the impact of their safety and stability and well-being and development is, how vulnerable the child is, the history, and if there's patterns of family violence. Thank you.